सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्युर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्।
ॐ नमः शिवाय, ॐ नमः शिवाय, ॐ नमः शिवाय, ॐ नमः शिवाय।
Good morning, all of you. Open your prayer book. We will chant the prayers on page 7 and 8 together. Let's start. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहे। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतंगमय। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Go to page 24 in our prayer book. If a man continuously hears bad words, thinks bad thoughts, does bad actions, his mind will be full of bad impressions and they will influence his thought and work without his being conscious of the fact. So here Swami Vivekananda is telling us on the importance of thought. Even though it's a single or a small thought, it has a great impact on our mind. It has a great impact on the way we behave. Because when we spend most of our time with negative people, listen to bad words, talk about others, talk wrong about others, develop wrong opinion about others, or spend time with people who have negative approach, then automatically we also develop those negative qualities. We don't understand or we don't realize that we have that negative qualities, but because we are spending time in that negative actions, we develop those qualities unknowingly and we also become or end up developing a wrong personality. Because we are what our thoughts are. Whatever thoughts which happen in our mind, which go in our mind, we do our actions accordingly. And those actions become our habits. And these habits make our personality, these habits make our behavior. So that is why we should always be careful with thoughts. So when we have negative thoughts, definitely it will not allow us to move forward, it will not allow us to be happy, and moreover, it will always try to bring us down. So to explain this point, I would like to narrate a small anecdote which I read in a book. So we are aware of circus, right? We know in a circus many animals perform some tricks and we all enjoy it. And after that performance is over, when we go to the place where the animals are kept, all the animals are kept in a cage. But an elephant is tied up to a chain and it is just a small pole, wooden pole is kept and it is tied to a small chain and elephant is standing there. If you compare the strength of the elephant and the strength of the chain, the elephant is stronger than that chain. The elephant, if it pulls that chain, automatically it becomes free. It can become free. But the elephant never does that. Because the elephant is brought from the forest in its childhood, in its babyhood. At that time, the elephant is weak and the chain is strong. The elephant repeatedly tries to break the chain, but the chain does not break. So that negative thought is fixed in the mind of the elephant that the chain is strong and I cannot break it. That is why after growing up, after becoming strengthy also, the elephant never tries to break the chain because it has the thought in the mind that the chain is stronger than me. So that is the impact of a negative thought, that is the impact of negative company, that is the impact of negative words. So that's why we should always avoid negative things and we should move towards positive. That's what Swamiji again here says. Similarly, if a man thinks good thoughts and does good works, the sum total of these impressions will be good, and they, in a similar manner, will force him to do good, even in spite of himself. So here Swamiji says, in the place of wrong thoughts, if we develop the habit of thinking of good things, seeing good in others, thinking positive about others, and looking at solutions rather than problems or difficulties, spending time with people who are neutral or who are positive, avoiding people who always talk about others. So when we do such things, our thoughts become pure, our thoughts become correct, our thought becomes good. Then our actions are good, and thereby our habits also become good, and we will be developing a correct attitude in life, a correct personality in life, which helps us in our every action of our life. If we don't do that, then obviously the negative thoughts will have an impact on us. For explaining this point also, I would like to narrate another anecdote. This is also from one of the books which I read. So, once there was a boy, 10 or 12 years old boy, and his mother wanted him to become a football player, soccer player, and she used to take him every day 5 o'clock in the morning to the football ground for practice. The boy was very much talented. He was good at football, but he was not interested in playing football. He was going to that practice only because his mother wanted him to go. He did not have interest in it. Every day he used to go and he used to play carelessly, and the coach and his teammates also know that he is talented but he is careless, so they don't take him seriously. So whenever they play matches, he is always the extra player. And one particular important match was going on, and unfortunately 2 or 3 players get hurt on that day, and there was no other substitute but this particular boy. And everyone were sure that this boy will not play well because he is not interested. As there was no other option, the coach calls that boy and sends him to play. And to the surprise of everyone, he plays extremely well on that day. He performs so well that everyone is shocked, and they even win the match because of this boy's performance. And they win that tournament. It was the final match of the tournament, and everyone is shocked, everyone is happy, they have mixed feelings. So after the match is completed, the coach goes to that boy and then he asked him, every time you play so carelessly, now how did you play so well? Then he told him, every day my mother brought me here, I was not interested but she was interested. Now my mother is no more, she is dead. So I feel that my mother is watching me from the heaven, and because I have that thought that my mother is watching, that's why I didn't want to disappoint her, so I played well. So this is the impact of a single thought in our mind. So that is why don't think things carelessly. Always be careful of what we think, what we read, what we observe, what we learn from outside, from others. Then definitely we will develop a correct attitude in life. That is what is the message of Swami Vivekananda. That's why he says every time we should be in a company which is positive. Then we develop correct attitude, personality, and we lead a normal life. Otherwise, we lead an abnormal and disturbful life, which is not good for us. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Have a pleasant day.